Hey everybody, welcome to Moments Off the Mat with USA Wrestling. My name is Mike Clayton and I manage our National Coaches Education Program. We got a special guest today. We've got Joe Russell from our men's freestyle staff. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So here we're going to be talking about a couple of wrestlers today and maybe doing a little video review. What do you have in store for us?
Yeah, what we thought would be fun today is to go back to the 2017 World Championships and watch the World Championship final matches for Jordan Burroughs and Kyle Snyder. The cool thing, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's a cool thing, but the amazing thing about it is for these two guys, they needed to win these matches for us to win the team title as well. So not only were they wrestling for their own titles, they're wrestling to help the USA win the team title as well. So it was very exciting. We hadn't won a World Championships in men's freestyle since 1995. So it'd been a while, and these guys, with the pressure they had on them, it was coming down to them. And for them to step up the way they did was super exciting, and to see all their hard work pay off, it was a joy to watch. I've watched these matches a few thousand times. I'll watch them a few thousand more, I'm sure. So one more time won't hurt today.
That's awesome. Well, we're appreciating the fact that you're going through them again and sharing some information as we go through. So what can you tell us about this match as he's starting off?
Yeah, these are, Jordan, obviously Olympic champ, but a couple of world champions going after it right here. And early on in the match right here, Sabalov does a real good job getting the elbow pass to an head outside shot, and scores early here on Jordan with a second shot. Beautiful on his point right there. He misses his first shot, he gets the second shot. And second shots are great ways to score on great opponents. As you see here, he scores. Right here, he goes for his, it's kind of an unconventional lace. They call it a quarter Nelson lace, but he does Jordan spent time, even up until right before the match, working on defending this leg lace. And I think he does a great job here of just improving his position, defend that lace with his butt back, knees wide, and fighting hands, and was able to defend the shot. So it was a great show of defense on him right here. Another great way to score against a great opponent comes up here pretty soon. We call it reshot. Opponent attacks you as they're coming out of their attack. They're a little bit out of position. It's a good time to go and to get a good score against a great opponent. And Jordan does that right here. Guy tries a swing outside step. Jordan jumps right into a shot right there for a takedown.
Yeah, he kind of forces that shot a little on Jordan, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Boom. Jordan's able to exploit it right there for a great double leg.
That's one of the prettiest moves in the world, isn't it? His double. Wow.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I don't know if it's fun to feel it when you
Years ago, we had an idea of putting a GoPro on your chest and then having him shoot that shot. I was like, I'm not volunteering. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be fun to see the amount of pounds of pressure put on you with that shot.
Crazy.
Coming up here is an example of a long shot that Sabalov takes right here. Gets to Jordan, does a good job defending right here, trying not to give up the one, but as a result, he gives up two. One little lesson there, you got to love the fight. He wants to be stingy with points. Try not to put yourself in a worse position by trying to stay in bounds where you'll give up more than what you would have given up. And I think right here, he gives up position, gives up the two. Love the attitude, the fight. Look at his defense right here. He's fighting hands right away, keeping his knees wide, keeping his butt back, and improving his position. Slides his knee forward so he can't get that leg lace. Very good job of continuing to wrestle when he's on bottom there.
That's awesome.
Down 4-2, but it's not a big thing for Jordan, so he's just getting the match started.
You bet. So here's your next clip.
Yep, so that long shot, Sabalov tries to hit it again. Jordan's already felt it once, and he's able to stop that shot, chase the go behind right there. Real good job making in-match adjustment right there. He's felt it before. He knows it's coming. He's not only seen it, he's felt it, and has much better defense and is able to exploit it. Get behind. Right here, he's trying to score in bunches. Takedown to a turn and end matches. Right here, he's trying to get that takedown to a turn. Ends up just getting the turn, but the way he went after it, the attitude is great.
What was the difference here for only getting two?
So because he was just on his hands, his knee did not hit. They just ended up in the end. Initially, they went 2-2, and in the end, they said his knee didn't hit the mat, so he only got the two for the leg lace because he hit out of bounds when he hit his butt here. But the good thing right here, a good thing for us to think about is just trying to score in bunches, take down to a turn, he hit that transition, that leg lace. He ended up just getting the lace, but it was not only great technique, but also a good match strategy. They challenge here. They end up winning the challenge. Very angry at the time. In hindsight, all right, maybe it was the right call, but
Probably no other coaches can relate to that feeling at all, right?
sad the way us coaches, the things we see in matches compared to what it really is, sometimes it's crazy. But the head between the leg lace is a real dangerous lace. Kevin Jackson was real good at when he's competing, and Jordan spent time working with Kevin on it. You could see it. It was a beautiful score. So they overturn it right here. But the good thing to come back center is only 2 seconds. Sabalov is ready to go to his corner. He's ready for the period to go over. And I think Jordan sends a great message right here by going forward, attacking with 2 seconds to go, letting his opponent know that these next 2 seconds are going to be a lot of wrestling, going to be hard the rest of the match. He's going to wrestle all 6 minutes of the match. I think sends a good mental message right here at the end of the period.
And even in that moment, like legitimately, we're probably like 2 seconds. We're not going to score, but it was more about a mental advantage.
I think mental, going forward that he's going to wrestle every second of the match. And Sabalov was just ready to, call it a period and go to the corner. And Jordan comes forward, pushes with his hands real hard, and just, I think, sends the right message that, no, we're going to wrestle hard, and it's going to be hard for 6 minutes. I'm not going to let you breathe. It's just good. You see Jordan making in-match adjustments right here, and you'll see Sabalov try that same head outside shot, and Jordan feels the elbow pass coming and pulls out of it before it's even a threat. So you can just see he's learned from earlier in the match. See his attempt right there, and he's circling out right away. So I thought was really good.
Yeah, Sabalov really nails that elbow pass, huh?
Yeah, and he got it with him right off the bat, but once Jordan's felt it, he shut it down the rest of the match.
How do our athletes, how do they get a little bit better in that situation, realizing it during a match and then making those in-match adjustments?
I think part of it's experience, putting in the time. He's put in thousands of hours on the mat, been in those positions before, felt it. But I think more than that, just being aware of it mentally, being in the moment. When you feel it, okay, I felt it. So next time you feel that's the same similar thing, you react differently. That's being a smart wrestler, or being somebody, I guess, put in the time, but also being somebody that can learn and figure out on the fly, because it's hard to learn when it's this intense and your heart rate's that high and your mind's going crazy. But evidently Jordan was able to focus to where he could feel it. It was obvious in this match by shutting down the scores that he gave up early. He shuts them down here after the first time he gives them up. Next situation coming up here, same thing. Jordan's defense does a good job defensively and really fights the edge of the mat. This time, because he did that extra effort, because he fought hard and was stingy giving points, he does a great job getting an angle and scoring here, where it looks like he's in trouble. Instead, he turns, gets the angle, and gets his own point.
Wow. Well, he toes that line nice.
Yep. Being real stingy, and when he can get that angle, he chases it down real fast, real hard. This next sequence here is Sabalov takes a real long shot, gets extended. Looks like Jordan's defensively real good, got his legs back, got him extended. Sabalov does a great job of building up right here. I think once Jordan gives that angle, keeps his hips from staying square and gives that angle, that's when he gets in a jam. So good job on Sabalov, and maybe defensively we're still finding our hips back, keeping our hips down and away, keeping his head down and away, and staying square. Look at the fight here from this guy's great at this leg lace. He turns everybody in it. Jordan's fighting hands, keeping his knees wide, butt back, improving his position to where the guy gives up and tells the ref, okay, let's go back on our feet. Right here, coming up will be the winning takedown. The guy does that same head outside shot. This time Jordan's ready for it and gets the angle real fast and gets that go behind. So a real good anticipation, real good feel. A winning takedown right here is just a nice, easy go behind.
That's pretty. Just so solid.
Yeah, I say easy, but that was impressive how he did it. One great thing I think Jordan does right here, there's 47 seconds to go in the match. A lot of times you'll start shutting down. You got to lead. You don't need to score. Jordan takes advantage, I think, mentally over Sabalov. Sabalov doesn't expect him to attack right here. And he just goes again, builds his lead, and takes it from a 1-point match to a 3-point match right now. Makes it super hard for this guy to beat him. So, take that attack when the guy's not ready for the attack. I think is a good skill to have. Take advantage of it when he's maybe taking a little mini break, but also building your lead, how important that is. If you can, 1 point to 3 points, a big difference. 3 points to 5 points, big difference for a guy coming back in a match. The other thing that he did real well there is he stayed busy on top, which left him on top longer. He was looking for a score, gave the ref a reason to keep him down on the mat. So right here, instead of just resting and taking a few breaths, he goes down, chases that leg lace. He's being real conservative, not being real risky to score, but I think it gives him a couple more seconds on top, which means now that he's on his feet, he doesn't have to defend quite as long where a guy has more opportunities to score.
So this really starts to set the stage for the next match, right?
Yep. Jordan comes here, wins the world title, scores more team points for our team, keeps Russia from scoring any more team points, and puts us in a position where the very last match of the tournament is USA versus Russia. Whoever wins it as an individual wins it for their team. So Kyle Snyder and Sadulayev will go at it here for the individual world title, but also for the team title.
The Burroughs match really kind of sets the tone for what's coming up here, right?
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's now coming down to these two guys wrestling here for not only for the world championship at their weight class, but also for the team title for the country. So whichever guy wins, their country will win the world championship. And one thing that's neat about this is these Kyle in this position, he knew Sadulayev was coming to his weight class. He'd been able to visualize over the summer having this opportunity. He had talked about, it'd be great if he had this opportunity to wrestle him for the world championship for himself and for the team. And to visualize that ahead of time, I think is real important for athletes to do. So they've been there before. This wasn't the first time Kyle had been on the mat with Sadulayev because he'd been there in his mind many, many times in a positive way. And I think that's good. Preparing for situations you might hit in the world championships, do that in practice. So when you get to the world championships, you've been there before. Put yourself in situations where you got to score with a few seconds to go. So if you're in that position, it's not new. You've been there before in practice. And I think Kyle did a great job doing that mentally, visualizing it, but also physically preparing a plan, a strategy, techniques that he felt would work well in this match. And having that plan ahead of time for all athletes, I think is super important. I think Kyle was a little excited coming in here early on. He gets a little out of position here, takes ground good, a little anxious to score here, and ends up giving up two. And I think just mentally when you get out on a match, it's important to try and have the right level of excitement. You don't be too excited you get out of position or too relaxed to where you're not able to match intensity right away. So trying to find that optimal place is important. It's normal in a situation like this. Just like in the Super Bowl, quarterbacks overthrow the first couple passes a lot of times, just getting yourself into it. And he does a good job of settling in right after that score. And his position's great, does a lot of good things early in the match that'll pay dividends later on in the match.
Are you personally, were you more of a high energy wrestler or were you?
No, the opposite. I was the guy who had to be telling jokes in the back room, be super relaxed. There are guys that need the loud music to get slapped in the face a few times, get super fired up. There's that guy, or there's like a guy like me. The more relaxed I was, the better I was. So you got to figure out what it is for you, for sure. And every athlete's a little bit different. So about 40 seconds in, he gets a little elbow pass here, changes the angle. So his butts to the center, is able to get a score here.
Wow.
Changes the direction, gets his butt to the center, is able to get that push-out point. Real good job with his elbow pass to get that angle, to get that score. This next scoring sequence you can see coming up here is a very good clue that Sadulayev had studied Kyle some and understand the tendency he have to do a heavy step with his fake here, which is a good fake, but he times it to where you can tell that he'd been practicing this. He was ready for this step and times it right into a single leg right there.
Oh, wow.
Real good job. So, it's clear that he's studying what Kyle's doing as well. Kyle does a good job of here defensively, just giving up the one.
That's important, right? Understanding that our opponents are probably scouting us, knowing what we do.
Yep. We always got to evolve. We got to grow and change and make those adjustments when we compete. And And even in the match right here, Kyle's got to understand that that's maybe a fake that he doesn't want to do as much here early on while Sadulayev is fresh. This next scoring sequence right here, Sadulayev's putting some pressure on Kyle, getting him near the edge, and Kyle's able to just get his thumb in the way. This thumb block here with his left thumb right here is just enough. And then as Sadulayev gets extended trying to push him out, that thumb block pays dividends. He's able to get an angle and score. And I think a lot of times we think it's got to be a big thing, but just getting his thumb in the way was enough there to stop that attack and then turn it into his own score.
That's pretty. He's done that a time or two, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing what just getting your thumb in the way can do for you.
How are you feeling at the break right now?
Yeah, no, feeling real good where he's at. He's kept a real good pace. He's done a lot of the things strategically he had planned on doing ahead of time. And, he was in a spot to still try and win it. So it was a great place to be. I think he's building confidence as he goes, as he feels his opponent and kind of understands him a little bit more. They never wrestled before this, so they never felt each other on the mat. And now they've had 3 minutes to battle, and these next 3 minutes are going to be a blast. Coming up here earlier in this period, some great scrambles these guys have getting after each other. I think Kyle's real close to scoring here in a second with a go behind. I think if he attacks the near leg, near ankle, near seam, he's good, goes around the waist, and Sadulayev spins out of it. But then Kyle does a great job of knee pivoting and getting his arm in between, so neither guy scores. Just a great scramble by both guys, showing great skills, great athletic ability, great heart, great fight here.
Wow. It's not good for our blood pressure, though, is it?
No. It was just impressive by both of them, some of the skills they showed right there. Basic skills, knee pivot. You think of basic skill, getting your arm in between, getting your wing in between, however you want to call it. Skill you teach little kids, but it works in the world finals as well, and saved himself right here. Right here, Kyle steps out. Sadulayev keeps wrestling, gets the 2. One thing to think with our rules right here, once Kyle steps out as a defensive guy, he's not allowed to score anymore, where Sadulayev can still try and finish the move to get a score. So wrestle through the whistle. If you're the offensive guy, you may get 2, or defensive guy, just keep that 1. And Sadulayev keeps wrestling here, gets the 2. Would love just been a 1-pointer right there, but instead he's able to convert it for the 2. So something to think about wrestling on the edge in freestyle. As the match progresses here, Kyle makes adjustments with the strategy. He starts putting himself in a little more dangerous positions, but I think it was the right idea. He's trying to put in more scoring opportunities because he's behind. Does a great job right here of trying to score. He starts going to the underhook where he wasn't underhooking earlier. He was staying out of underhooks.
Gotcha.
But he has to start doing it. Isn't that underhook, but I think forces him to wrestle. Tries that snap throw by that he's great at. Kyle's prepared for it, so even though he puts himself in a dangerous position, he's able to defend it and then keep taking ground. So he's got to score, so he's taking ground with it. It was a good in-match adjustment on Kyle's part.
Starting to see a theme there.
Now here Kyle's just trying to get positions where he can take ground, inside ties, underhooks, level changes, and here he does a great job of getting his butt to the center. Sadulayev keeping his butt to the edge. Level change, pushes him out here for 1 point.
How important is that circle back to the middle that Kyle does here?
Yeah, having your butt to the center is huge. Now you got a lot of real estate to work with, and your opponent's near the edge, and he does a great job of circling in, just like he did it earlier in the match. Level change, able to get the push out right there for the score. He's
got another score coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah, he does. He's put such a great pace in for the whole match. So the first 5.5 minutes, he's wrestled so hard, and he's putting a lot of pressure on his opponent right here. And I think that forces his opponent into taking a shot he wouldn't want to do. And Kyle's able to capitalize here. But I think this is predicated by the amount of pressure he's putting on him for the first 5.5 minutes of the match. Does it go behind this time where he goes to the seams, able to get the score. Turns out to be the winning takedown here, but great example of first 5.5 minutes of great position, putting a guy in a position where he's got to fight hard for 5.5 minutes, and he's able to capitalize with a score here.
Sure. Yeah, for Sajalive to have to take that, to force that shot, that's tough.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive what
Oh,
Kyle did.
how excited are you now with 15 seconds left?
Very excited. We're very excited right now, and just making sure he holds good position. You know, Sajalive still had a couple tricks there the last few seconds, but Kyle was ready for it. He prepared for it, and now he done something. You know, since 1995, our team hadn't won, and Kyle winning the world title, beating the other Olympic champ that moved up to his weight class for the team to win. Doesn't get any exciting than this. So it's something that still brings a smile to my face when I watch it. It's been almost 3 years ago already. So it's pretty amazing what these guys did for their team, and also amazing that the scores, both of them, their winning takedowns were go behinds. And you think these guys with their great offense and how they attack so well that they won the world championships with go behinds. It's something that, you know, we talk about a lot, and taking advantage of that when a guy shoots, stopping their shot and scoring. And both these guys won with go behinds, and go behinds are beautiful. I love that.
Now, did they always think that?
I don't know if they always thought it, but you got to put it in their minds, right? And I think both of them, no doubt, after 17, understand how beautiful a go behind is and how go behinds win world championships. So, you know, for all wrestlers out there, it's may not be the most glamorous move you think of, but man, it was beautiful.
In summary from that match, what kind of a message do you send to our folks out there watching today?
I just think, you know, the skills these guys are using are skills that we can all use that are real important. You know, edge of the mat stuff, they were doing some real good stuff on the edge of the mat. I think, you know, scoring against great guys, you know, second shot score against the best guys in the world. They're able to stop your first one, maybe get him with a second one, or reshots. You know, guy shoots on you, stop his shot, start chasing an angle, looking for that score. Reshots are how you score against great opponents. I think in parterre, guys showed how you keep improving your position, keep wrestling, keep working hard on bottom. You know, you can stop those turns when you're working defensively. And there's a lot of good skills physically they showed. And then I think the mental skills are the real important things they showed here, is being excited for the opportunity. You know, a lot of pressure on these guys, but you saw when they were out there competing, you know, that pressure was a good thing. You know, they had been there before. They had visualized winning those world championships. Well, they had won them before, so they actually knew how to win them beforehand. But just mentally, you know, they're in the fight, and, you know, they're behind. Both of them were behind in their matches, and you could see they weren't phased. They were still sticking to their game plan. They were still attacking. They were still trying to score. And, you know, I think mentally it was great to see how they rose to the occasion when the chips were down. And, you know, you do that by putting in the work ahead of time. You know, they were able to put themselves in a position where they could wrestle super hard for 6 minutes by their physical preparation. They had put themselves in scenarios during their preparations where, you know, they were in situations where they had to defend a shot, or they were in situations where they had to work hard on the edge of the mat. So they had practiced that enough to when they were out there competing, it was nothing new. They were comfortable with those situations, and it was just like they'd done in practice, and get comfortable being uncomfortable. And they went out there in that uncomfortable situation, and they looked very comfortable, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. How big of a part is their character, the whole person character? How big does that weigh in winning a match like that?
Yeah, I think it's super important. I think it's often overlooked that probably one of the most important things there is your lifestyle. You know, to be great at anything, lifestyle is so important. And these guys, their character, the amount of work they put in the room, but it's outside of the room when they're doing the right things. They're eating the right food. They're getting the right sleep. They're making good life decisions. Doing those little things day in, day out, it pays dividends. It makes a difference. And when they get to this situation, you know, their character shines through. You know, it's like you watch these guys wrestle. It's like you see all the physical stuff going on. You can kind of see the mental stuff. And then you look, their hearts have got to be huge. You know, how hard they wrestle and how they go out there and compete. You just know that their character is so unbelievably huge that it just shines through when they're out there in these tough situations. And it's a blast to watch. And it's 2017. I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them, but I got goosebumps right now, and I've seen this match a ton of times.
That's awesome. I feel if I had a flag, I'd have to be waving a flag.
Yeah.
It is.
Start the USA chant here.
Oh, yeah, I like it. Maybe we can do that virtually as well.
Yeah.
That's great. Any other tips or last minute comments before we close the show?
No, I just say, you know, for these guys to win a world championship, you know, they did it on the mat, but so many people supporting them through the years, from their youth coaches to their parents to fans to people that support wrestling as a whole. Go watch these guys compete. You know, for the USA to win a world championship, it wasn't just the guys that were there competing in the tournament or the USA Wrestling staff that was there with them. It takes the whole country. So there's hundreds of thousands of us wrestlers out there that have helped pave the path for these guys to get where they got. And just thankful for everything, our country is doing to support wrestling and how much help and assistance they've given to these guys and to USA Wrestling. It's just super thankful. And, these guys are still competing, and the Olympics are a year away in 2021. These guys may wrestle again. I'm sure the match will look a lot different because our guys are evolving, their guys are evolving, getting better. And you thought this was fun in 2017. Wait till 2021 at the Olympic Championships when our USA guys get out there to compete. It's going to be a fun, exciting event.
I think the year is going to go by pretty fast, and we're going to be pretty excited to see what goes on in Tokyo next year.
No doubt, no doubt.
Joe Russell, thank you so much for your time and sharing some information with our folks. Thanks to all of our members out there, from all of us at USA Wrestling and Moments Off the Mat.